First part, we find out the radius of Bohr's orbit. Now we find out the velocity of the revolving electron. Consider an electron revolving in a circular orbit having radius equals to r. M is the mass of electron and it revolving with a velocity, linear velocity or linear speed equals to v. Then according to the Bohr's first postulate, that is centripetal force is equals to electrostatic force. So that m of v square r is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into e square divided by r square. We transpose this r square towards this side, so it becomes m v square into, so this r comes to the numerator and 1 r get cancel, so it becomes m v square r is equals to e square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Therefore call it as equation number 1. Then according to the Bohr's second postulate, its angular momentum is equals to integral multiple of h over 2 pi. So that according to Bohr's second postulate, according to the Bohr's second postulate, so we can write it as m v r is equals to nh over 2 pi, where this n is the principal quantum number, h is the Planck's constant. Then it called as equation number 2. Dividing equation 1 by equation 1 divided by equation 2. Therefore it becomes m v r divided m v square r divided by here m v r is equals to that e square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught divided by nh over this 2 pi. So this this r get cancelled, 1 v get cancelled. So here what is remaining? So this can be written as v is equals to, velocity is equals to this e square divided by this 4 pi epsilon naught into this 2 pi goes to numerator, so it becomes 2 pi divided by n into h. So this pi get cancelled. So what is remaining? That is v is equals to e square divided by 2 into epsilon naught h into n. So it's simply written as v is equals to, in bracket, e square divided by 2 into epsilon naught h into 1 upon n, called as equation number 3. So but e square divided by 2 epsilon naught into h is equals to constant. Therefore v is equals to constant. Therefore v is inversely proportional. If these all terms are constant, therefore we can say that the velocity of electron is inversely proportional to the principal quantum number. Then, so this is the expression for velocity of the electron. This is the expression for the velocity of the revolving electron, and it is inversely proportional to the principal quantum number or number of orbits. That means as the number of orbits increases, velocity goes on decreasing. Then with the help of these radius and velocity, we can find out the different formulas, which is very important for solving the problems. Then we find out the linear momentum. So that linear momentum, we denoted it as a p. Then this linear momentum p is equals to product of mass into velocity. As we know that the linear momentum is nothing but the product of mass into velocity. Therefore, P is equals to mass into velocity V. The value of that velocity is given here in equation 3. From equation 3, it can be written as E square divided by 2 epsilon naught H into 1 upon N. So it becomes P m e raised to m divided by 2 epsilon naught H into 1 upon N. Therefore, P is inversely proportional to N, or that principal quantum number. So that linear momentum of the electron is inversely proportional to the principal quantum number. So this is the formula for linear momentum of the electron. Then we also find out the angular velocity. Angular velocity omega. The velocity, if that electron is revolving in a circular orbit, that means it has an angular velocity also. That angular velocity is given by omega is equals to v divided by r. As we know that the value of v, that is E square divided by 2 into epsilon naught H into N, H into 1 upon N, and the value of that radius, is equals to the pi m e square divided by epsilon naught H square into N square. So it becomes that value of omega, omega is equals to pi m e to the power 4 divided by 2 into epsilon naught square of this epsilon naught H square into H, that means it becomes H cube and the N cube. Therefore, pi m e 2 epsilon naught and H are constant terms. So we can write it as omega is inversely proportional to the cube of principal quantum number. Now, the time period, we will find out the time period or the periodic time capital T is equals to, that periodic time T is equals to 2 pi upon omega. Therefore, it becomes 2 pi. The value of that omega is equals to that value of omega, that 2 pi, value of omega or that angular velocity, it becomes pi m e raised to 4, then 2 into epsilon naught H cube into N cube. So it becomes 2 into epsilon naught square H cube into N cube divided by pi m e raised to 4. Pi m e raised to 4. Therefore, that T is equals to this pi get cancel. So here 4 into epsilon naught square H cube into N cube divided by m e raised to 4. Therefore, this is called the periodic time of the time period of the revolving electron. Now, the frequency of that revolving electron, we can also find out the frequency of that revolving electron, and it is nothing but the frequency m is, or that nu is equals to reciprocal of the time period, that is 1 upon t. So it becomes nu is equals to that m e raised to 4 divided by 4 epsilon naught H cube, 4 epsilon naught H cube into N cube. So all these terms are constant. We can say that nu is inversely proportional to the cube of principal quantum number. So we can say that it is that nu is inversely proportional to the principal quantum number. Simply we can find it as a centripetal acceleration. So that centripetal acceleration is given by A is equals to V square divided by R. Now that A is equals to square of the velocity. So here E square means it becomes e to the power 4 square of velocity, or simply we can write here as E square divided by 2 epsilon naught h into n, h into n bracket square divided by radius, that is epsilon naught h square into n square divided by pi me square. So it becomes, centripetal acceleration becomes, it is the e to the power 4 divided by 4 epsilon naught square h square into n square into this pi me square, pi square m square e to the power, sorry, so it becomes pi me square divided by epsilon naught h square into n square. So it becomes, centripetal acceleration is equals to pi m e to the power 6 divided by 4 epsilon naught cube h to the power 4 and n to the power 4. So this is the expression for the centripetal acceleration. So in today's lecture we find out the radius of Bohr's orbit, velocity of the electron, linear momentum, then angular velocity, time period, frequency,